Hey everyone, this is Young Tanda Bukwe. Thanks for tuning in. I just wanted to share just a message about being persistent in prayer and not giving up. Be persistent in prayer with the promises that God has given you. If you have been praying for a long time for a breakthrough and you have not seen it, I just want to encourage you to say, keep going, keep pressing in, keep praying to God, keep bringing it to Him through prayer and fasting. Even if it takes years on end, keep coming to Him, keep giving it to Him, keep bringing it to Him. Some promises, depending on the assignment, or depending on how big the promise is, it would require you to keep on coming. It would require you to press in even more. The greater the promise, the more you need to go after God, the more you need to keep coming and bringing the matter before Him. But whatever you do, do not give up. I just wanted to share the story, the parable of the widow, persistent widow. It depicts this very, very well in us pressing in and not giving up. So I'm going to read from Luke 18, 1 to 8. One day, Jesus told His disciples a story to show that we should always pray and never give up. There was a judge in a city. He said, in a certain city, he said, who neither feared God or cared about people. A widow of that city came to him repeatedly saying, give me justice in this dispute with my enemy. The judge ignored her for a while, but finally he said to himself, I don't fear God or care about people, but this woman is driving me crazy. I'm going to see that she gets justice because she is wearing me out with her consistent request. Then the Lord said, learn a lesson from this unjust judge. Even he rendered a just decision in the end. So don't you think God will surely give justice to His chosen people who cry out to Him day and night? Will He keep putting them off? I tell you, He will grant justice to them quickly. But when the Son of Man returns, how many will He find on earth who have faith? And so I just wanted to speak on that, having faith and not giving up and not doubting that God will fulfill the promise that He's given you is so important as well. So I just wanted to encourage you, keep pressing in, keep praying, keep believing that which God has given you, that the promise that He's given you, or whatever that you're praying for, do not give up. Do not give up. If He says that He's going to do something, He always do it. So you must never stay in doubt, but stay in faith. If you look at the Bible, if you read it, and you look at Jesus, whenever there was a person with faith, he was so moved by it. You look at the woman with the issue of blood. Jesus, even though he didn't know, he sensed that someone had touched him. And he said, he noted her faith. You also look at the story of the centurion whose son was ill, or servant was ill. He said, there is no one with so much faith. I'm paraphrasing, but there is no such faith that I've seen in Israel. So I just wanted to encourage you to stand in faith and believe that Jesus will fulfill your promise, even if it takes years. If He said something, If he said it and he spoke to you and confirmed it, know that he will fulfill that promise. Likewise, whatever that you're praying for, God hears you. Do not be discouraged if things look the opposite of what you have been praying for. Keep believing. God is a just God, and he always does things according to his will and purpose and timings. So if he hasn't done something, it means that he's still working on it. I also wanted to just share from Joshua. I'll read from Joshua 6, 2-5. But the Lord said to Joshua, I've given you Jericho, its king, and all its strong warriors. You and your fighting men should march around the town once a day for 6 days. 7 priests will walk ahead of the ark, each carrying a ram's horn. On the 7th day, you are to march around the town 7 times with the priest blowing the horns. When you hear the priest give a long blast on the ram's horns, have all the people shout out loud as they can. Then the walls of the town will collapse and the people can charge straight into the town. So if you look at this and you even read the story of the spies, when God sent the spies to say, I want you to go take a look at the land that I'm going to give you, God gave them a strategy. God gave them guidance on how to go about that. So if we read this, God says, I'm giving you the land, but here's the strategy. So I even want to encourage you to come to God, come to him and say, Lord, what do you want me to do? How do I go about this? If he's given you a promise, go to him and say, how do I go about it? Maybe he might say, I want you to fast for 5 days, or he might say, I want you to worship. Worship is a weapon. Worship is breakthrough when you worship. Worship is singing to God, but it's also a weapon. Strongholds are broken down when we worship. We see it in the case of King Jehoshaphat in 2 Chronicles 20, and you see the children of Israel coming before God, and Jehoshaphat hears a report that there's armies coming up against you, and they've ganged up against you. And so you need to, and so they decide to fast and pray. Every single person, it says everyone prayed from the youngest to the oldest. They came before the Lord, they humbled themselves in fasting and prayer. And it says that when they were done, basically a prophetic word came through one of the men to say, go and march. God is going to be with you. Go against them tomorrow. God is going to be with you. God is going to help you. You don't need to do anything. Just stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. So we see the children of God going, and as they go to battle, they just begin to worship. And it says that God put them into confusion, that God fought for them, and they ended up fighting amongst each other. So I just wanted to encourage you with that word. Whatever you do not give up. Keep pressing in, keep praying, keep fasting, keep worshiping God, and you will see him giving you the victory concerning the promise that he's given you. He is a faithful God who loves his children. So always know that he loves you. If he hasn't brought it to pass, it's because it's not in his timing yet. But in his timing, he always fulfills his promise. So I hope that encourages you. Talk to you soon. Bye.